Hi folks, today's video will be about the third noble truth, Nirodha, and what it means. We'll be learning about the key definitions, solas, and controversial thoughts. This one might be hard to wrap your head around. Don't worry, I'll try my best to explain. Hope you enjoy. So what exactly is Nirodha? Well, in the last video you might have seen that the truth of the end of suffering is the third noble truth. And yes, that does mean that there is an end of suffering. It confirms that we can not crave. So for the first part, we're going to learn about the key terms and definitions, and what they mean, and how they relate to Nirodha. The third noble truth, Nirodha, is that there is an end to suffering. This can either refer to the end of suffering in this life, on earth, or in the spiritual life. The Buddha teaches that it is possible to end a person's suffering through their own actions and efforts, and that this can lead to enlightenment. Buddhists believe that Buddha achieved this, and that anyone else can achieve it too. This noble truth is important because it teaches us that it is possible to achieve happiness, and that although suffering is an unavoidable part of life, it is possible to overcome it. To summarize, it is the thought of ending suffering by overcoming craving. Some more very important words to learn. Parinirvana or parinibbana is nirvana/nibbana, continuing after death. Obviously there is a life after death in Nibbana. Nibbana is obviously the state of complete enlightenment, happiness, and peace. It basically means the sniffing out of a flame, or dowsing. In this case, the three poisons. The three poisons are greed, craving and selfishness, hatred, feeling of wanting to reject or hurt someone, and ignorance, not knowing how things work. A Bodhi is someone who knows. A Buddha was one who knows the truth about the nature of existence, such as a person who would know exactly what causes of suffering.
Sources of wisdom and authority. One of the hardest parts of today's video. I hope you enjoy.
The Buddha himself has said quite a lot of things, especially part of his Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Buddha in the Samyutta Nikaya. Now, this, bhikkhus, is the third noble truth of the cessation of suffering. It is the noble truth of the remainderless fading away and cessation of that same craving, the giving up and relinquishing of it non-reliance. The Buddha is trying to say that the third noble truth is the fact that you can get rid of the suffering and you can stop the craving. He also says in the Majjhima Nikaya, this is peace, this is exquisite, the stilling of all fabrications, the relinquishment of all acquisitions, the end of craving, dispassion, cessation, unbinding. Most of Buddha's words on Nirodha seem to always be encouraging and motivational, and they try to tell people, yes, you can overcome dukkha. They are sending a message, and often talk about Nibbana, what you can achieve after enlightenment. Nibbana itself holds quite a lot of controversy that we will come across in the next section. However, you think dukkha is a fire, and its cause is tanha. Overcoming dukkha would be like dousing the fire, which is Nibbana, which literally means the extinguishing. The Buddha says in the fire sermon, when he finds estrangement, passion fades out. With the fading of passion, he is liberated. When liberated, there is knowledge that he is liberated. He understands, birth is exhausted. The holy life has been lived out. What can be done is done. Of this, there is no more beyond. Controversial issues. There are many controversial issues that arise within Third Noble Truth. First of all, the Buddha taught the way to stop craving / achieve Nibbana is to have an inner satisfaction with life and a total appreciation of what one has already got. But what if one has everything and is satisfied with what they have got? Can they achieve Nibbana and or become enlightened? Another issue is that some countries which promise the right to be happy, where some Buddhists are born, such as the United States of America, are such a materialistic culture that many young Buddhists struggle to overcome craving. Another large controversial issue arises with the Dalai Lama. Now, the Third Noble Truth, it is taught that to achieve Nibbana, you have to become non-attached / stop craving things. But to find the new Dalai Lama, it is reincarnation into a child that was born at the same time as the previous Dalai Lama died. To find this person, the monastic community close to the previous Dalai Lama bring his possessions to any children they think may be famous Tibetan Buddhists reborn. But the problem is that is told that you should not become attached to things, and the Dalai Lama may be attached to his possessions, as it is something that have been reported that the reincarnated Dalai Lama remembers from their past life. Also, it is pointless to wonder what is after death, as unless you become enlightened, you are just going to become reincarnated again. Why should you only act well because you want to do something in the life after? You should act like you want to be a good person, and not so you only achieve Nirvana. To achieve Nibbana, it is retrieved through the mind being open and receptive to the teaching. Blind belief is certainly not advised or expected of anyone. Instead, the mind should be willing to be receptive, pondering and considering. This mental state is very important. It is the way out of suffering. It is not the mind which has been fixed views and prejudices and thinks it knows it all, or just takes what other people say as being the truth. It is the mind that is open to the Third Noble Truth and can reflect upon something that we can see with our own mind. People rarely realize non-suffering because it takes a special kind of willingness in order to wonder and investigate and get beyond the gross and the obvious. It takes a willingness to actually look at your own reactions, to be able to see the attachments and contemplate. What does attachment feel like? There are a few ways you can overcome craving really easily. Number 1, drinking water. This is always confused with hunger or craving. If you feel a sudden urge for a specific food, try drinking a glass of water and wait a few minutes. You may feel that craving fades away because your body was actually just thirsty. Number 2, eat more protein. Eating more protein may reduce your appetite and keep you from overeating. It also reduces cravings and helps you feel full satisfied for longer. One study showed that overweight teenage girls showed that eating high protein breakfast reduced cravings significantly. Number 3, distance yourself from the craving. When you feel a craving, try to distance yourself from it. For example, take a brisk walk or shower to shift your mind onto something else. A change in thought and environment may help stop the craving. life.